Hey viewers, it's Tuesday on the Pagan Perspective and I'm your host, Cara. I was going to be doing my video outside today because it's gorgeous outside, but since it's gorgeous outside, our physical plant has every loud, noise-making piece of machinery they can outside right now, making campus beautiful. So, you know, I'm in my room, but that's okay. This week's topic is magic, and this topic came from a bunch of questions that I was getting on my personal channel, in messages and in comments, people asking me sort of what does magic have to do with being pagan? How much of the religion is actually the magic, vice versa? Essentially, the people who asked me this question sort of knew a little bit about the religion but weren't sure what magic had to do with it. So my generic response is always that magic and the religion of any sort of pagan religion aren't necessarily the same thing. You don't have to do spellcraft to be pagan, and you don't have to be pagan if you use magic in your daily life. It just so happens that a lot of pagans do choose to overlap. So for me, I choose both. I follow the religion and I also do magic when I can. It's not as important for me these days to do magic all the time because obviously I can't, so I've just gotten used to not being able to do a lot of magic at school except for things that don't require a lot of preparation or a lot of fancy schmancy stuff, but I do use both. I know people who tend to stick just to the religious aspect and they don't necessarily do magic at all, and that doesn't mean they're not pagan, that just means they don't do spellcraft. And on the other hand, I know people who do magic in their everyday life but don't consider themselves pagan or even anything related to that. For example, my mother is Christian and does magic. I know a self-proclaimed spiritualist who uses spellcraft. I know a Native American woman who uses spellcraft. It's something that fits well with pagan religions, but doesn't only belong to pagans and neo-pagans. I feel like magic is just something pretty universal that people of any faith can pick up and incorporate into their beliefs if they want to, but it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand. So if you're looking into being pagan, but you don't necessarily feel like you want to do magic or anything like that, don't feel the need to do that because that's not part of being pagan necessarily. You don't have to do magic to be pagan. Vice versa, if you're interested in the spellcraft but you don't agree with pagan beliefs, it doesn't mean you have to be pagan in order to do magic. You can still do whatever religion you want, and just if you have the belief and the ability and the desire to do magic, you can incorporate that if you want, I think. I mean, you guys probably realized by now that I sort of have that attitude about everything because I'm eclectic, and it's true. I mean, I do have that view where, like, if it works, use it, but I don't know, that's my view, so that's what I think works the best. I'm always going to say, if you like it and it works for you, do it. I don't see why not. I do nothing black and white, you guys know that by now. But essentially, that's what I feel about what magic has to do with your practice. It has to do with your practice what you think it has to do with your practice. And I'm sorry if that's, like, not helpful because I'm just saying, oh, it's whatever you want and go with the flow kind of thing, because if that doesn't help you, because if you don't know what you want, I'm sorry. That's completely different than, like, knowing where to start, which I've gotten that question recently too, and I'm trying to come up with a better answer than do what you feel is right is really difficult, because I feel that a lot about this sort of path is doing what you feel and just doing a lot of research to find different methods that you could incorporate, but then you pick what you feel is right. I know that's really hard to determine if you have no idea where to start, but just read a lot, watch us. This is why I decided to make this the topic of the week, because I got the question and yeah, the person asked me, so they wanted my view, but I also thought it would be really beneficial for you to get everyone else's view this week on what they think magic is and why it's important, if it's important, so on and so forth. I feel like this was a really short video, but that's covering the question. That's all I really had to say. So if you have any further questions for me, message me on my personal channel, leave a comment, that kind of thing. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy everyone else's views this week, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much for watching, and blessed be.